Hello, and welcome to episode 135 of Bardic Quest. In this episode, our heroes set out north from Phandalin as they seek out a sacred dragon-slaying weapon, and have the first opportunity to unpack the tragic events of recent days. So, without further ado, let's get into this week's episode of Bardic Quest. This first day is mostly kind of trails and roads and stuff, so the Outrider doesn't particularly have much particular pathways to cut through before really you begin to make your way across the grassy plains as you leave the road and start going across country eventually. So I'm going to look to the sentry now as to how you're going to go about doing this.
So you did that. Look to the sentry.
Indeed. You have three options, like everybody else. You can either take the first watch option for your group check, which is as you're just embarking on the journey, keeping a keen eye out for any dangers that might be lurking in the road ahead. You can slip the noose, in which you follow a route that kind of keeps you to the shadows and out of sight as the party is departing, making it hard for anyone to potentially follow your trail, perhaps. Or you can choose the option, which might be a little on brand for you, actually.
I just read
hiding in plain sight, knowing that the best way to avoid becoming a target for trouble is to make yourself seem unimportant and not worth the effort of ambushing, and so disguising yourself and the party as simple travellers.
I think that should be the option. I think disguising us, we look like a somewhat relative normal gang of people.
Speak for yourself.
Club. So I'll, maybe do the classic kind of casual whistling, just kind of guard walking down like a prison cell, swinging the chains round, just nothing to see here, kind of that kind of walk as we head on. Yeah, I'll as we're traveling, I'll kind of look at people and pop into my disguise kit and pull out a few bits and bobs, just to kind of dress people to look a bit more,
a little less adventure-y.
Yeah, how would you put it? Common.
All right.
So yeah, I'll throw like a scarf around Saga and kind of dust, throw a bit of dust and mud up over Thorik.
Not the beard. I just washed this. It took me hours to get the detritus out of it.
A common traveller does not wash. And then I'll look to the horse and go, well, this is going to be a real task. And I will do my best to make Marvellus look normal.
Good luck.
All right. In which case, then, if you are indeed going with the hide in plain sight option, I'm going to need you to make a... I think probably here I think a wisdom check.
Yeah.
Plus your proficiency for your disguise kit. Wisdom based off of your kind of trying to determine what people would consider to be common travellers.
Do we get that advantage now that we got from Marvellous's?
Oh, yes,
successful
indeed.
plan?
Yes, indeed. You may do that with advantage as well.
Unless you fail.
Oh, that's so much better. I rolled a 7, and then I rolled with the advantage an 18. So with everything on top of that, that'll be a 22.
Very nice indeed. All right. Okay. So yes, these disguises then, of course, looking actually fairly convincing, all things considered. How you make Marvellous's steed look less than impressive.
I find 2 theatrical wheels and hold them either side. So
Very nice. Okay. So finally, then, we have the Outrider. Your
What
job
does it
really
mean?
is to find the path through the dangerous terrain and lead your party to safety, as this is the point at which you really start headed off-road now. You've kind of, a few hours north of Phandalin, you kind of reach that crossroad, that T-junction, where it meets the tribal trail, and your route is pretty much, as you've been told, fairly directly north. So you need to essentially guide your party through. So you have 3 options as well. You can either blaze the trail, trekking ahead of the rest of the party and navigating the wilderness to find the best routes to set off upon. You can leave no stone unturned, wherein you are your expertise in the natural world allow you to kind of predict potentially dangerous wildlife that you might encounter along the way, or you can attempt, which I don't even know if you have proficiency in this, to chart the course, wherein you kind of use your knowledge of geography and the natural world to sketch out a map using cartographer's tools to kind of mark out.
I do not have cartographer's tools, but she is a woman of the wild, so
Okay.
I'm going to use Blaze the Trail.
I thought
Which
you
is-
might.
Which is very canonically accurate for her.
Okay. Would you like to describe what you're doing then? And then after that, I will need a wisdom survival check from you.
So she'll let everyone know that she is going to go ahead, and she's going to go just far enough that she kind of disappears off the horizon for a few moments, and then I'll just see her pop back up and like this way. So that's how she's going to do it.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
She just knows where to go.
Okay. Yeah. Give me a
I'm a
survival
human
check
force.
then, please.
With advantage.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, bloody hell. Survival. That's a survival check. Bum, bum, bum. Well, the grief is getting to her.
Okay.
That's an 11. And yes, that is with advantage.
Okay. Yeah, just a few clumsy errors here and there, kind of finding yourselves in the occasional ditch that Saga didn't quite pre-warn you about. But otherwise, I mean, not terrible, but equally not, as you say, the grief is getting to her a little bit, as you know, this is a high stakes quest and journey for her, and perhaps her concentration is a little less than
Not really there, but
yeah.
no one mentioned it.
She's got things on her mind. All right. So, I can tell you, you did fairly well with that. So, what I will say is that you're not going to be facing any additional encounters on top of what you would have otherwise faced, but there may still be an encounter or two along the way here. The first day, however, of this journey does pass somewhat uneventfully as you settle down for camp for this first night of travel. And settle in to perhaps a nice meal from Thorik as he's making his preparations. Is there anything anybody would like to discuss over your evening meal?
So, Thorik,
Aye.
we are going to this barrow to get a item to kill dragon with, yes?
We are.
Do you know anything about this barrow? Is it... would it lead into something as big as Wave Echo Cave?
Given my vision, Wayne, what details of this would I kind of recall? He's definitely had it on his mind. Thorik takes out the picture of his ancestor, Christred, and kind of ponders it for a moment and sort of casts his mind back into the dream. Would he have any kind of indication of how big the barrows are going to be when they get there?
So, in terms of the barrow themselves, if memory serves, the vision itself didn't actually feature the barrow. The vision and the dream that you had was the battle that took place. But you do know that the dragon was particularly large in size, possibly even an ancient dragon. So you are expecting a significantly sized barrow, if indeed the barrows are the resting place of said dragon, as well as Christred.
Yeah, I'd relay all this to Sergei and the group and just sort of say, I don't really know what there is to... what details there are to be learned. Berinar, I mean... Margaret seems to think it's a wise idea, so... As much as she's been cryptic, she's been kind and helpful, and I don't think she'd deliberately give us a bad steer, you know?
No, of course.
I feel weird about it, don't get me wrong. It's all very strange.
Who would have seen it coming? Old Margaret, eh?
Aye. She was a wily one. And, no sign of your friends following us then?
So far, no.
Yes, are there any other mortal foes and enemies, unpaid bar tabs that I should know about?
Well, there's still the rest of my Dryle's clan somewhere.
Oh yeah, the wolfy lady.
Mm.
And I have a lot of unpaid bar tabs.
So, yes, a lot. We don't know when they're coming.
No. Well, fortunately, I've got my shield shine to such a sheen now that I can almost use it as a mirror to look behind me.
Yes, that is
I
a
fear
problem.
that will be useful.
Might need to put some dust on that to make it look a bit more normal.
Yes,
How dare you? Absolutely not.
A bit less eye-catching might be a good idea.
The only kind of ordinary I shall be is extraordinary.
Marvellus, we're going to have to change your name to Plain.
Absolutely not.
Sergei, how are you feeling about the whole... Is being hunted like a dog something you're used to, or...?
Yes, actually. I feel quite comfortable and at home like this.
Yeah, it's what we and Sergei have in common.
Ah, yes, except I don't bark.
She throws some sand at him.
Speaking of such things, Saga, from what Margaret said, it sounded like I can help you.
Please do. Last thing I want is to turn into that monster we saw and hurt one of you.
When's the full moon due?
In terms of time passed since the last full moon, it has only been a handful of days at best, not even a full 10-day yet. So you're certainly looking at 20 plus days before the next full moon is due, yes.
I guess the only thing to be said is delaying to... it's entirely up to you. I'll take the... I'll take the wolf away at your request whenever you like. But it does seem to give you a little edge.
It makes me faster and stronger, that's true. Just do it whenever you think is best.
You're not a... I'm talking around the point. I'm being practical.
I agree. Let's be practical.
Oh, okay. In which case,
Just don't risk it too close to the mark.
sure. We'll take it off you as soon as you want, and with good time before the. Any
About
hint?
2 days before the full moon, just in case.
5 days before.
Deal. Marvellous.
Yes.
You said your father gave you this mission of hunting down the werewolves.
Yes.
Or when was the first time you heard of them?
Well, the reports have been coming in over the last few weeks, I believe. So they dispatched me. If it'd been a larger problem, they'd have sent a more experienced knight. I'm not too far into my quests at the moment.
So what, they thought it was 1, 2? That's it?
Well, it was, wasn't it? Would that not have been accurate? They didn't know, and
no,
it was as much fact finding as it was dealing.
I'd say half a dozen. That's
half a dozen.
The ones I saw. There might be more.
Well, I shall certainly be covered in glory when I return.
I'm glad you're enjoying my tragedy.
Oh, please, no. My enjoyment is collateral. It's not. It's nothing against you. You understand. But I have to say.
Relax, Marvellus. I was teasing you.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yes, I'm not used to being teased.
Apparent. But what? Just wanted to know. So they thought it was a small problem.
They didn't know, really. I was sent out to investigate claims of werewolf attacks. Yeah. They hadn't really left any bystanders or witnesses, if you know what I mean. So
yes, him being a werewolf was a recent change.
I see. Well, we don't have to worry about him any longer, at least.
No. At least. And then she looks really sad.
and with what Thorik said, we shouldn't have to worry about you either.
Indeed.
So, as we're talking about tragedy, if it's not too if it's not too difficult a subject, where did you find this book?
We found it in the cave, in Wayvickle Cave. I believe, if my memory serves, it was within the treasures of the Wraith we fought.
Oh dear.
It was on the bookshelf, I believe.
Aye.
I've never trusted books.
I've never trusted shelves.
It's too easy to lie in a book. I like to hear the information from a person's mouth, and you can tell if they're lying to you. Too easy to blindingly trust a page.
You're the most baffling person I've ever met, Marvellus.
I'll tell you what's baffling. Do you know what I found out recently? Did you know that there are actually people who read, wait for this, for fun?
Yes, I used to.
No, I know what you're
Believe
thinking.
it or
I
not.
know what you're thinking. You're thinking, no, that's because they're too poor to have someone to read to them. But no, actually, they gain some sort of enjoyment from it. I don't understand.
Yes, I used to. Before this.
Well,
Before this, believe it or not, I was a tanner's daughter.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
It's weird
well,
thinking about family.
we're all improving, aren't we? We're all.
Yeah, downgrading every day, I'd say. But still
Nonsense! Since the last battle, you're looking better than ever.
I feel better than ever. I almost forgot a spell of mine, but I've remembered it again. Don't worry.
Oh, cool.
While they're both digging their own graves, Thorik deliberately spills the kettle of water over the fire over their toes.
Oh, whoops! It's clear. Oh,
Sorry,
careful.
winks at Saga.
No, there was a fire down there. That's concerning. I meant to be the sentry.
What did you like to read, Saga?
Me?
Yeah.
My mum had a few romance books. I like those. A few mysteries. We didn't have a lot.
Could you
Did
tell
you
us a story?
No.
No.
I'm not a storyteller. This clan didn't read, that's for sure. Most of them could hardly write their own name.
Didn't strike me as the studious type.
No.
Did you ever read Torvald the Wanderer?
I did.
My dad, whenever I wasn't studying, we'd cook and we'd read.
I haven't read that in 17 years.
I think the last time I read it was about 2 weeks before I met all of you.
Oh, wow. You know it well then, Thorik.
I don't have a
Well
copy.
enough to repeat it to all of us.
No, I'm no storyteller.
Don't worry. I know you're feeling not so confident in it, but, and I pull my lute out,
Oh.
I will accompany you on this one.
Why don't you give us a song and I'll fix us some food?
Oh, I don't think Marvellus has heard Death of the Bear. Why don't you give him
Find a song you've never heard, Marvellus.
Death of the Bear.
In all the taverns, in all of the parlours, you've heard music before. Nothing compares to the Wailer.
I have been waiting to hear the Wailer.
Well, let me wet my whistle. Here we go. Oh, there was a bear. He
Yes?
died.
Oh no!
I think that's it, actually. There was more, but it will come to me. Oh, there was a bear. He died.
Woo!
No, please save the applause for Thorik's story. He was there, he died, something.
I'm sure you're familiar with high art, Marvellus.
Familiar. I've everything I've learned about art has been against my will.
Once again, you are the most baffling person I've ever met.
Oh, you see the trappings of wealth are just that, trappings. You get stuck with the most boring things. I'd much rather be out having adventures or down the pub or enjoying making new tales of life rather than reading 1,000-year-old tomes.
Well, be careful what you wish for.
Maybe we can write a story about you one day, Marvellus.
Oh yes, it would be good to get some column inches in the positive.
Whatever that means, yes. Maybe I'll write a song for you, Marvellus. The Marvellous Schalfort. That's
yes, indeed. That would be very good. I'd be very happy to commission you.
You would?
Well, I'm slightly indisposed when it comes to finances at the moment, but it is a temporary measure.
Let's go 10 gold per word, maybe.
These must be indeed golden words.
10 golden words per word, yes.
Stories are all good, but who fancies a game of Free Dragon Ante?
My.
I've never been a betting man.
That somehow doesn't surprise me. Not as a. Please don't take that as a slight. It's a compliment, if anything. But
I've never had enough gold to lose, my friend.
Same.
I turned to Sergei, and I was like, "You strike me as a player."
I don't know what you mean. 1 gold piece.
and we begin to play a few rounds of Free Dragon Ante.
Nice. Okay.
While away hours.
Indeed. So out of interest, for anybody who is playing, you can either roll a deception check for bluffing, or a sleight of hand check for perhaps a little bit of cheating. And we'll see who wins the night. Which otherwise, aside from the betting, from the betting, otherwise we'll
Saga would join. This is interesting.
I've put 1 gold piece. Anyone else diving in on
There you
this?
go.
Okay, good to know.
1 gold it is.
Thorik will just make sure that he'll just watch the game. He'll just enjoy watching it, just stirring the pot. Just kind of keeping an eye.
All right. If anybody is proficient with playing cards as well, you can add your proficiency bonus as well.
I am not. This is purely for amusement. So we rolled.
Or if you are proficient in the skill that you're choosing and proficient in cards, then you can roll with advantage.
So we're rolling deception or sleight of hand.
Deception or sleight of hand, yes.
Sleight of hand.
Whether or not you're playing legitimately or cheating.
Thorik will just tip Saga's hand up as if like she's sort of showing her cards.
Yeah.
Like, careful you don't show your cards, but as he does it, he casts guidance on her.
Oh,
love it. Yes, thank you.
Nice.
That's a D4, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So essentially, whoever rolls the highest here is going to win.
19.
Turn out your pockets, boys.
I say, I just so happen to have a full hand of Tiamat right here. I've rolled for deception a 24.
Oh, fuck. Got 19 for sleight of hand.
Well,
And you know what? 19 is very good.
Marvellous.
Oh, don't patronise
But
me,
it's
fancy boy.
Marvellous.
Marvellous, I also have got a full hand of Tiamat here. I rolled
Oh,
a 28 on deception.
I look at him and I'm like, oh no, he does, and I do. I hadn't begged on. Very well. Yes, by bluffing, and I throw my hand down. Very well.
That was a 19 plus 9, by the way.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, then. In which case, then, Sergei, you win 3 gold total. Marvellus and Saga, you're going to lose a gold each, I'm afraid.
I'm rich!
But otherwise, the day, or the evening rather, does pass uneventfully. Now, of course, you're not going to get the benefits of a long rest out here in the wilderness, and you do have 1 short rest that you can take during this journey if you want to, but that is representative of a whole day passing by, and also does result in an additional encounter taking place after the fact as well. But that evening otherwise passes uneventfully and undisturbed as you set off the next morning for your second day of travel in what you expect to be 3 days' worth. Now, as you are travelling across the wilderness once again, I am going to need the sentry of the party to give me a perception check as you are spotting for any threats that day. Now, this is a wisdom check, so you are going to be doing that with advantage, courtesy of Marvellous's seeking advice.
Thank goodness. That was a 5. Second roll was a 15. So perception, right?
Yes.
So altogether a 19.
Very nice. Okay. So, as you are making your way through the wilderness, Sergei, you're kind of going slightly ahead, trying to get a good view as best you can. As you are looking across the horizon, you see a large shape in the sky. Flying in your direction. Could I also get a nature check from you, please, Sergei? Nature, I believe, is... Oh, that's intelligence, isn't it? So that won't be with advantage.
Yeah, 8.
8, okay. Yeah, it is moving towards you at speed. It is a significantly sized creature with a very large wingspan, which you can tell just by the perceived slowness in which those wings are flapping in the breeze or in the wind. Your perception was quite high, wasn't it?
Yeah, 19.
It looks to you, from this distance at least, that also this creature has somebody riding atop it.
No, thank you.
No.
That's so cool.
I'm big upstaged.
Hey there, questers. I just wanted to take a quick moment to express our huge appreciation for all of our amazing Patreon and YouTube members. Your support means the world to us and helps keep this channel going strong. So I wanted to give a special shout out to each and every one of you. You are Woodstrapper, Simon Jelly, Martin C, Gallus, Gary Lloyd, James Hamilton, J.R. Belliston, Robert Treadwell, Jason Udall, Jason Bradwell, Nigel Raggett, and Rebecca Hill. Your support truly makes a huge difference, and we appreciate you more than we can express. And to those who haven't joined yet, I invite you to consider becoming a patron or YouTube member. And not only will you unlock fantastic benefits, including early access to videos and exclusive behind-the-scenes content, as well as access to our Discord channel, but you'll also be directly contributing to the growth and success of this channel. So thank you once again, all of you, for your incredible support, and together we're bringing these fantastic adventures to life. So thank you.